What you doing? I'm the AC, and this is Alcoholandanime. Woo! So, uh, surprise. This is a surprise podcast for me, even though I plan doing podcasts. But mainly, the surprise was the movie we watched and who I'm doing it with. This podcast with. So first off, it's a live podcast, and I have guests with me.
What's up? It's your boy Blue.
Yeah, we're recording in person this time. Blue is only my fourth person to ever do a podcast live with me. Usually it's over computer because that's what the world's like nowadays. But Blue's been on Alcoholandanime quite a few times by this point. I don't even remember the count.
Me neither. It's gotta be at least 3 or 4, 5 maybe.
I feel like 5's a good guess. I could go over the episodes you've been with me in, but yeah. You can go back and look at those. Your name's in the descriptions at least. So, enough rambling, I guess. Let's talk about what we're doing. You can probably figure it out because you clicked on this. You may have read the description, looked at the thumbnail, all that fun stuff. But we will be talking about the brand new anime film, Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. Oh, we'll get into all that details later. But like I always do, and before I forget, it's alcohol anime, so we're going to start with talking about alcohol. And this one, it's a bit lazy, but also a bit clever accidentally, I feel like, on my part. We already had some alcohol here because we was hanging out yesterday, and Blue brought some alcohol that he just found because it looked good.
Yeah. Looked good, and I like the packaging, so they got me.
Yeah, so it's just Seagram's Escapes. For some reason I thought they were Escapees, but I guess it doesn't matter. And it's a 4-pack. It's a 4-flavor pack, which coincidentally, once we realized the movie was coming out today, yes, we're watching it as soon as we could, I was like, oh, well, I read the descriptions. There's 4 Wizard Kings. We have a 4-pack of these random things. And then I was like, okay, well, sure, that works. But then, earlier today, before I got off work, I was like, I'm going to get some kind of other black alcohol because this is Black Clover. I don't remember if I told you this earlier. So, Black Clover, I was like, well, what would be a good clover drink? And it was like, how would any of this make sense? How about we mix these random Seagrams, which are like 3-something% alcohol with this 40% black rum. So that will be some kind of black alcohol drink, whatever. And it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't as alcoholic as I thought it was going to be, since we're just mixing alcohol with alcohol, but it's still pretty good.
I was skeptical, so I only put a splash in. And I warned you to only put a splash in. It turned out I worried for nothing. Maybe if we put more, it might ruin it. But there's 4 flavors. We started, at least today, with the peach Bellini, and that's what we mixed the black rum with. It's a Bacardi brand. So I was like, Bacardi's an okay brand. It's fine. I was about to get cracking. I'm glad I didn't, because that one actually is a lot stronger than Bacardi's. I also tried Costing. I used to drink a lot of black rum, and that's why when I had the idea, I was actually pretty excited and pretty skeptical at the same time, just to see how it was going to turn out. But I'm glad it worked. But then I was like, okay, well, that's not really Black Clover. So what my original idea was going to be Black Clover. It's like, okay, when you think of clover, what would pop in your head? Or what kind of associations do you have with clover?
Luck when it comes to 4-leaf clovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
4-leaf clover, what do you associate with that?
Well, from the anime, the luck from the Grimoires. Luck of the Irish.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, and what do Irish have that's alcohol related?
Oh, yeah, they have the good old rum. Wait, is it rum?
Irish whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
That's where I was going with.
But this isn't an Irish whiskey.
It's not. So we're not drinking that, but I did have the idea. I wanted to talk about it.
I was like, what are you doing?
So I was like, okay, what's a clover alcohol? I'm sure I could look up a recipe, but I would assume it's anything green mixed with Irish whiskey. So maybe meadery and just like a splash of Irish whiskey, because meadery's pretty it's tame. Like there's not a lot of alcohol in it already. It's not a super strong flavor. It's a distinct flavor, but then mix in the Irish whiskey, which is very strong, and it's like I don't. Well, of course, not drinking it, so I don't know how it tastes. But
Yeah.
I mean, we've done this before, just theorizing drinks that could go with characters or whatever. So that was my Clover drink. Then I was like, well, how do you make it black? And I was like, just substitute the Midori with the black rum. So a black rum with Irish whiskey, and that's your Black Clover. What do you think? Make sense?
You're taking out a liqueur and just putting straight liquor
Into more liquor.
I
That's
love it.
what a lot of drinks
love it.
are.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, that would have been my just straight up Black Clover drink, but I don't have Irish whiskey. And I forgot about it by the time I got to the liquor store. I just was like black rum, and we mix it with these Seagrams, and it works. The other flavors, right now I'm drinking a mix of my black rum with the black cherry fizz flavor. And then you're just drinking the Jamaican Me Happy flavor.
Yeah. Little lemon, strawberry, watermelon, and guava.
Yeah, but yours isn't mixed anymore. You're just drinking it straight.
Yeah, straight.
Because it's fine. But it's probably not something I'll drink all the time. I guess? Yeah. And then the other flavor is blueberry acai lemonade, which we drank some last night. And that one's fun. I drink some more of that whenever. Okay, so that's the drink. That's what we were drinking, what we did drink, what maybe I'll drink at some other point. Now here's the little game I thought we could play. A game / the drink association again with characters. Because normally I'm like, okay, let's make a drink for each character. But one, there's a lot of characters. And if we're going to make a drink for Asta, you know, that guy, it could just be the Black Clover drink. It makes sense enough. That's whatever. The same thing could work for Yami. And then Vanessa, she drinks a lot, which I'm disappointed there wasn't any drinking.
True.
At all.
I didn't see one bottle in her hand.
Not that I remember. There might have been, I just missed it somehow. But so we're going to take these Seagrams flavors and try to match them up with the Four Kings. And this might be a little... spoiler alert, if you made it... I'm kind of talking about it earlier than I normally would. We're going to be talking about what happens in this film, just so I say that I said it. So be prepared for that. There's 4 bad past Wizard Kings that try and do bad stuff again. And since it's 4 of them, 4 of these Seagrams, we're going to match them up. So, I still don't remember if they ever said the names of 3 of the other kings. The main bad one, who is the previous Wizard King before Julius, is named Conrad. I only remember it because it almost makes me think of Comrade. But I don't know if we ever learned the other.
I feel like they for sure said the girl's name. I just don't remember what it was.
Oh,
I feel like you have to know. Had to have said it for sure.
There's no way. I'm looking up the names, and there's no way these are the names of the other 4. The first one makes sense. Edward Avalanche.
The old guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Jester Garandaros. I mean, that makes sense for the other one.
The other guy.
And then Princia Funny Bunny.
That does sound like... I remember that. I remember the Princia being mentioned.
Princia, but Funny Bunny?
I think that was mentioned, yeah.
There's no way her name was Funny Bunny. That's so stupid.
That's a little weird considering her character, but hey. That's it, man.
Princia Funny Bunny. Jester Garandaros, Jester Gyarados makes sense. And Edward Avalanche makes sense. But Princia, okay, sure. Funny Bunny, fucking stupid. I'm sorry. So, with those thoughts in name, and then it's Conrad Leto. Oh man, I shouldn't have looked up these names.
I feel like I've never seen that mentioned. I was just like, I just let it slide. I was like, is this Funny Bunny? That's whatever.
Ooh, so do we want to match drink to character or character to drink?
I think we should do character. No, we'll do drink to character.
drink the character. Okay, so let's start with, well, the first thing we drank was the blueberry acai lemonade. So, I already have someone in mind, just...
Same. I was thinking maybe the old guy.
Yeah,
No.
because he uses ice magic.
And his ice was like very, to me it was like very blue.
It was blue, but I mean, that makes sense with ice. Like, but
different
yeah.
from
Like the kind of light blue or white
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah. So yeah, easy one. Blueberry, acai, lemonade, kind of sour old man. Didn't really get much of his motivation throughout it. Really, we'll talk more about that when we actually talk about the movie. The motivations for these villains, not very clear. So that's unfortunate. Next thing, let's do the peach Bellini. Oh, actually, I say that, but I feel like the next one is pretty obvious. Black Cherry Fizz.
Black Cherry Fizz. I would
For a similar reason, I feel like.
Would you give Blackberry Fizz to Conrad?
No.
No.
I was gonna say Jester.
I was thinking Jester
The color.
myself, because like it's similar to like that stuff he was using.
Mm-hmm.
All that purplish, darkish.
Also, Fizz. He's kind of a fizzy character.
He's pretty fizzy.
Yeah, fizzy. Yeah. You know, all those fizzy people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Peach Bellini and then Jamaican Me Happy.
Well,
Oh, actually, you know what?
you're making me happy. You know, it's pink. The girl's hair is pink. Funny Bunny's hair is sort of pink. And also,
And the name kind of makes me happy, but also, this one is a toss-up for me. I would make an argument for Conrad on this one, because that was kind of his motivation, was to kind of make a world where everyone could be happy. He also wears like that reddish, pinkish locket,
yeah.
and which we don't find out until the very end, and it's just like one line tossed out there, and it's like, oh, that was the whole reason. But the hardest part is like, what does Peach Bellini, like a kind of orangish, light orange color, have to do with either of them?
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Lemon, strawberry, watermelon. We'll give it to him. Peach Bellini, because why not? And then also, what's his deal? What's he doing? No, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say Conrad should be Jamaican Me Happy. Mainly because it's also a combination of a bunch of different things. And that was also his thing.
Yeah.
He just combines a lot of magic. And then Peach Bellini, I don't know. There's nothing special about it. Really, her magic and stuff was pretty straightforward. And Peach Bellini is kind of more straightforward. So I will associate it with that. So we have Jamaican Me Happy with Conrad. We have Peach Bellini for Funny Bunny. Stupid. The Black Cherry Fizz for a Jester. And then Blue Acai Lemonade for the Avalanche. Yeah, that's it. That's it for drinks.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. No drinking in the movie, unfortunately, even though Yami and Vanessa drank a lot normally. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. We did get a nice... There's no drinking, but we did get the typical Yami pooping at the wrong time. When there's danger, kind of whatever.
Taking one of his long shits.
Yeah.
Something I can relate to.
Same.
Especially
Unfortunately.
at work. That's my on...
Especially when I need to walk the dog and I don't want to.
Take a paid break.
So, let's get a little educational now. I already said we watched Black Clover, so we're the Wizard King. I already talked about some of the characters and all that stuff. I think, I don't know if I gave a description. You probably figured out whatever I said so far. That's what happens in this. It's a pretty straightforward movie for the most part. So, this movie came out today. And today is June 16th, 2023. It got a theatrical release in Japan. Did not get so in the US, unfortunately. It just came out on Netflix, which, convenient, easy for us to coordinate, because we could just watch it whenever. Of course, we decided to just go ahead and watch it the next day. Cool for me. Also gave me an opportunity to trick you into just staying here and recording podcast with me live, because I prefer this. I like the energy better. But we both agreed it would be like a lot better in the theater.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely deserved a spot in the theater more so than that Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer's trash. I want to do a podcast on that, but then it would just be shitting on it the whole time. I mean, I like Demon Slayer. I had the manga, read all that. That's really cool. And I liked when I watched first, like that season finale the first time. And I liked when I watched the first episode the second time, but when I watched those two together in the theater, didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Just like, kind of like, why?
But this is an actual movie, actual plot, and really cool. A lot of big stuff happening on screen that would have been cool to watch on a bigger screen. I mean, I don't have a small TV, but imagine if it was a wall and we could look up at it. Oh well. Can't do anything about it. I wonder why it didn't get a theatrical release.
That's a good point. I feel like a lot of animes have been having movies being released in the theater, so it's weird that this one didn't get that. A lot of movies have been, like even Sword Art Online's been having a bunch of the movies.
Yeah, and those, I would say, are definitely not even as good as this. Nothing absolutely phenomenal about it, but like it's a pretty good anime film. A lot better than some I've seen in theaters. Maybe not the best I've seen in theaters, but I felt like it deserved a better than a Netflix treatment. Because, like, they're not bad just because they go on Netflix. But, like, they get a lot more attention if they go in theaters, I feel like. And this deserved it. But also, it did get pushed back. Maybe because of Netflix buying it out, and that caused problems. Which is the same thing. This is completely unrelated, but the second Oxenfree I feel like was also pushed back because Netflix acquired it. So I feel like Netflix is just fucking us up, making us have to wait longer for things we want. Oh well.
Typical Netflix shenanigans.
Way to go. Thanks for letting us watch this movie, but we could watch it on something bigger. So I don't even remember the original date it was supposed to come out. It's here. Here's the biggest thing we wondered, though, is when does this film take place? And while watching it, we were so sure it was supposed to pick up where the last episode left off, but it obviously doesn't, because Yami's there. Spoiler for the series, I guess. Yami's taken, but he's in this movie. That's the biggest giveaway. Other stuff. So, we could tell it took place after the time skip. Well, what was the other things? We wasn't sure when Yuno became vice captain.
A lot of the Golden Dawn members are gone.
Oh, yeah.
We saw some of them still chilling in the movie, so I feel like a lot of them are pretty much
Well, actually, thinking back on it, I don't remember if it showed that many Golden Dawn members anyways.
True, but even like the main ones, like the guy with the steel and the girl, weren't they like got?
No, those two. Are you talking about the steel?
Vermilion and the Vermilion girl?
Yeah, Mimosa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. She's alcohol related.
Is there an Amy Mimosa? That's fine.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure those two live.
I don't even know who died. Just
I don't know. It's been so long now. That's probably the other reason it went to Netflix, is because it's been so long since the series stopped, took a break or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, I'm sure the manga's getting close to ending. But after watching the film, I just looked it up. It says it takes place during the 4th season, not after. Also, because I watch on a Crunchyroll doesn't divide it into seasons, so I don't know when the season's starting in. But it says between episode 157 and 158, which I think is like right after they leave the Heart Kingdom. I don't remember how they go. Was there any immediate trouble as they come out of the Heart Kingdom? There's a little time that could fit in there, right?
I guess so. I mean, they had to have. All I know is, I feel like right after the time skip. Well, I don't remember when the time skip was. I have to re-look. And what if the time skip was between 157 and?
I looked it up, and it's definitely after. No, it definitely. The summaries for the episodes weren't that clear, but definitely said something about going or coming from the Heart Kingdom. Something about Astra being in a Heart Kingdom, and then the 158. I could just look it up, but I'm not going to because we're going to just keep thinking on this.
We also saw Asta's demon, and he
Yeah,
had...
that's
see
true.
The arm that Asta, he like gave to the demon or whatever? You saw that, right?
And that doesn't happen until almost the very end, right?
Yeah, I thought that happened. Yeah. I don't remember when, I'll be honest, when did that happen?
Was it before or after Yami was taken?
That was...
It was after, wasn't it?
No, that was before, because whenever he was fighting with Yami, he had the full body.
Yeah. But was that voluntary?
I think that was whenever, because he's already friends with the demon at that point. Right? Like, they go through his demon's backstory and...
Didn't they? I don't remember. See, it's been so long. And there's also, at the very, very end, we see the other guy with the demon. Little demon thing.
Knocked. I think his name.
And that doesn't happen until way later. So yeah, some of the stuff is like, I'm not exactly sure when this is supposed to take place, especially if you don't look it up. Then you're just like, well, I don't know when this was supposed to be. Yeah. And then like other popular alcohol anime guests, I also watched it with us too, even though she also only watched like the first 40 some chapters or episodes. She didn't know what some of the people were, which I don't blame her, but I don't know, I feel like she was fine. She didn't want to record with us because blah blah blah, but oh well. I don't know. I guess it could still be enjoyed by people who doesn't know anything else about the rest of the series. I don't think it's that important. You won't know much about the characters, but as far as like, oh, this is what is happening at this moment, I feel like it was a decent enough story.
Yeah, but I still feel like if you haven't seen any episodes, you 100% shouldn't watch the movie. At least watch up to like, I don't know, episode 50 or something. Learn about some of the characters you'll be seeing. Because there's like a lot of characters over these 100-something episodes, man. And they're like almost all shown in the movie. Not like all of them, but like pretty much all of them.
Yeah, pretty much all of them.
Pretty much showed everyone. Even the guy that taught him how to use a sword a little better. I forget his name. He had the red hair.
Who?
Yeah, you probably didn't recognize or see it, but...
Are you talking about, like, wasn't he like a doctor or something? Are you talking about that guy?
All I know is he uses, like, sword magic or something like that. And he taught Asta how to use a sword better.
I don't know. I do remember, like, the guy who, like, helped Asta use his arm again or something. Like, wasn't he, like, sealed off at some point? And there was a guy, like, some kind of doctor-ish or... I don't know, there was some random guy. He also had red hair, if I remember. He was in that village and...
Maybe it was him. I don't remember. I just remember...
There is so much. They really did try to cram. Like, we want to make sure we show everyone.
Yeah.
And they did.
I think we did. Yeah. They're going from the old village that they're from.
Mm-hmm.
The sister.
Yeah.
The old man, the kid.
So yeah, they didn't leave anyone out. I mean, except for like...
They showed Sally. Sally was the girl that got beat up by Conrad whenever they went to go get the item.
Sally, yeah, but who is that? Oh yeah, no, her, yeah. I was just about to mention, like, I remember her going off and doing some, pretty much being good and working and experiment stuff. When did it ever show Nero going off to go do whatever?
That I don't remember. Maybe it's just at some point. That's why I think this movie is some point during the time skip, and so it's just like what it's like before the time skip episode or something. And so she must have been doing something in that lab or whatever.
It kind of makes sense because I guess we can go right into just talking about the film. Well, one, it opens up 10 years in the past, which it seems so short that Julius is only king for like 10 years. Magic King, whatever. Wizard King for only 10 years. Because that seems so short. Pretty much everyone alive must have been alive and like a little kid when Julius was made a Wizard King. So they might have some memory of this Wizard King. I feel like it should have been a little bit longer. Maybe 20 years ago.
Something.
But then again, you wouldn't have most of the other captains.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had Yami.
Yeah. This showed like Yami, real young Yami, and I'm assuming before he was a captain at all.
Possibly. Because Well, I don't know, because he was... Even Julius was a captain at that point. So, like, I think Yami was a captain as well, but he created his own Black Bulls team.
Maybe. But yeah, so then that happens. They steal that Wizard King. Jump forward. They're about to do a tournament. Of course, I don't know why I expected there to be any kind of tournament at all, but it's supposed to be Yuno and then up against some masked guy. And after one attack, everyone should knew who it was. Yuno knew because he's not an idiot, but no one else could tell that this giant black sword that can cut through magic wasn't also right away. And they were still surprised later that he was there. It's like, now that would have made sense if this was like the first time they were seeing each other after a time skip. Maybe it is.
Also, don't forget that, I was going to say, I don't think the people really like Costa, but maybe that's changed. I remember there being an episode where he was on trial for being a dead.
Yeah, but that was... When was that?
That's a good point. I don't remember when that was. That was like right after.
No, it was right after the elves, wasn't it?
Right after
like
the
immediately
elves.
after, yeah.
The devil, whatever the guy's name was.
So yeah, this should be plenty of time after that. How long was the time skip again? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It had just a year or two, maybe just months.
I think it was like only months or like half a year, maybe something like that. Was there even any hint of the Spade Kingdom yet, or did they? And that's why they were training. Dude,
yeah, they were training. So like after the trial, instead of him getting in trouble, all he had to do was go to the Spade Kingdom and fight other devils or defeat them or whatever. And so that's when the training arc comes in, and then when the training arc's over, they're fighting people that are under the Spade Kingdom. Like
yeah, I guess so.
Spade Kingdom mages. Like right away, they're already fighting. So
dude, I needed to just go back and rewatch at least, I guess, the last season of this, but I don't have that much time, and I don't know. I thought this was going to take place immediately after, anyways.
Yeah, I did no research either.
You think they just marketed it wrong? Or they changed their mind as to when it was supposed to take place? Because I just don't remember. It really feels like it was supposed to be immediately following it. Because that's what a lot of the other films have been doing is it's just the next season pretty much. Yeah. Is what the film is supposed to be. Which is fine. But even though I used to not like, I guess they can still be canon, but like stories that are outside of the main story, or movies outside of the main story, where you're like, well, when is this supposed to happen? At what point? But now I like them more because now that they're doing the next season is just a movie. It's like, yeah, but now you have to watch the whole thing. Now people can't just come and watch this movie. But apparently that doesn't matter because Demon Slayer ended up becoming like the highest grossing anime film of all time now, even though it really wasn't anything that special about it. It was fun. It was a good movie. But there's a lot of other great anime films that I feel like are better than that. I just don't get that one. That one's still confusing to me. I liked it better as a series. We're talking a lot more about Demon Slayer now. Really. The second time Demon Slayer is being brought up. Mainly because the 70-minute season finale for that's supposed to be coming up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we had no idea when the next season of Black Clover is supposed to be coming.
Hopefully, after this movie's been released, it'll be told. They'll tell us when it'll.
I hope at least by next year. Actually, yeah. I mean, we kind of skipped the credits. Not all of them, but a lot of them, because there's a after credit scene. Nothing too important. But yeah, there was no announcement or anything at the end either.
No.
Huh. Oh well. So let's see. Yeah, there's a tournament. Yuno and Astra's about to fight, and it's interrupted, of course. And this is like, they get right into the action. Because then not only is that Wizard King that was sealed away, but he went and got 3 other Wizard Kings from the past who were also bad, so they got their titles stripped away. And it wasn't clear exactly where he got them from. Like, were they also sealed away? Were they part of the past?
I feel like he said he revived them, but like, whenever he like stuck his sword, in that scene where he stuck the sword into the one guy, I think it was Jester, he looks like he was sealed somewhere, like being kept somewhere.
And just skipping right to the end, when they lose or are defeated or whatever, they just turn into gold dust and just like shoot up into the cosmos. So I don't know where he's. Entertaining movie, not the clearest on what's happening and why. Because they come, they attack, they take over. Then Asha, Finral, and Noelle, right? That's their names.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. I'm already terrible at names. They get a chance to escape to go to some lab called something Zero, right?
I don't remember what the lab's called, but apparently only very few high-ranking magic knights know where it's at.
Yeah, nobles too.
Nobles.
Yeah, which Finral apparently knows for whatever reason. I mean, he is, but he also is shit on a lot, so that's surprising. And he Rot and Magic the password, and they get in. And then Spurger. Narrow, yeah, starts with N. Okay, she's there waiting for him. Still, that confused me, because I didn't know why she was there.
She's got some ancient arcane tier magic, and so...
And then they take the longest elevator ride ever. Apparently, they take an elevator that's so long that they're able to conquer the rest of the country pretty much, and just I don't know necessarily if they killed a bunch of people. Probably did. But yeah, they took over the whole place in this one elevator ride, and by the time they get there, they're too late, and the Conrad's already got there to get. It was supposed to act like a sheath for this magic sword that he has that was used by the first Wizard King. And he's just like, already there, and breaks it. And like, that's it. Fuck that plan. So dumb. How... That part. Such a long elevator.
Yeah. I don't think when they arrived, they told Nero how quickly they needed to get to the side of him.
I mean, yeah, of course they didn't expect him to ever be able to get there. But I guess we never saw what his actual magic is. This past Wizard King's magic is key magic, which lets him unlock anything, including magic, which means he can stick his key into someone else's book and take their magic. So all his magic is borrowed from other people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And he does that to Noelle when they fight. And that's the only person we see him do it to the entire time.
He did do it to Marks.
Yeah, he did to Marks too. And that's how he found out where they were going and how to get there.
I forget what his magic is. Some sort of memory magic.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, that makes sense with Marks getting that, but really?
Yeah.
I
feel like he could have done it to a lot more people. Like, I don't know. They could have probably won if he did it to a few people. Maybe did it to
First off, why is Mark so useless? He was taken out so easy. Isn't he like the king's right hand?
I mean, he's definitely a useful person to have around. I don't think he's like super strong, but yeah, he's like the info guy. He's the communicator, I guess.
So yeah, after the whole Mark stuff, he finds his way back. He easily beats those three. Finral, Noelle, Asta, and then Sally and who's the other chick?
Nero,
yeah.
And some chick that's there. I don't even know what her magic is. I don't know her name. I don't even know where she came from. Some new character probably.
And they don't really show her after either. Because then they use a combination of magics to help them escape.
Yeah.
But we didn't really see what happens to like Sally and the other chick afterwards.
They're probably just eating Charmy's food and just.
I guess. Did they escape with him though?
I think so.
Did they?
Yeah, I think everyone got away.
I don't remember. Okay, well yeah, everyone got away. They go to some Golden Dawn secret base or whatever. Heal up, eat some of Charmy's food, like you just said, and they're good to go. Again, already.
Yeah.
They have until dawn for all their magic that these kings are stealing collects up enough to do something bad, which still makes no sense to me what that something bad is going to be. But yeah, so they all, let's see, then a lot of people, what am I trying to say? Astra has like a Wizard King moment where he's like rallying everyone up. Is that his name? The like Baha guy.
Oh, dude, I
Baha?
cannot tell you his name.
I'm pretty sure it's Seki, or maybe that's
I
the
hate
wrong.
that guy. It's like the one character I don't care about in that show.
Oh no, they call him Baha, but his name's Seki or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's so dumb. He tries to like, turn or get everyone's spirits down, and then tries to leave. But then that's when I can't ever say her name right.
Oh, Marileona?
Marileona, yeah. She busts in her typical aggressive style, badass, and then most of the other captains.
Yeah, William Vengeance, whatever his name is. The green mantis, the praying man. What's that?
Yeah, this.
Magic
Yeah,
spell?
and others follow in behind him. I don't remember.
The
who else.
girl with the vine. I can't remember.
Oh
her
yeah,
name.
where did she go? No, her and the menace guy I know get left behind. Then so they make this whole plan. They're going to get the Black Bull's base, use Henry to power it up, turn it into a big robot thing, and fly back to where the stadium was under. And on the way, they lose the captains because they are like, we're going to stay behind, and
Yeah, they stay
for whatever reason,
They stay to fight one of the Magic Kings.
No,
the Wizard Kings.
No, they just stayed back to fight like the little Funny Bunny use magic is summon these like metal knight things.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, did it take all three of them? Like Vengeance, Mantis Guy, and then Charlotte to just bust a hole through?
I think so.
It did.
Yeah. And then
they just stayed
Bulls
behind.
got through, and then they couldn't get through. Yeah, so they were stuck
Oh,
there. And
we don't know if they could get through or not. They just stayed back to
they stayed
fight,
back,
I guess.
yeah.
I don't know.
That was weird. Now that you mentioned that is kind of weird. I was
Yeah.
like, where was William the whole time? We could really use
He
his
just
magic.
he made a hole and that was it. It's like, really? You're like supposed to be like the strongest,
Yeah,
supposedly.
supposedly.
But yeah, and then the rest, it's like, okay, I guess that's fine. They go through, they run into Jester, who they blast their way through him, but only Asa and Yuno get through the barrier.
Yeah.
And then this is where apparently they succeeded in doing their job, which was to split up the kings, because they were able to teleport Funny Bunny and Avalanche into different places. Because Funeral's just pretty badass. Like and he doesn't get enough acknowledgement, I feel like. But yeah, they're all separated. So Astra's going to go after Conrad. Yuna stays behind to fight Jester. And then pretty much the rest of the Black Bulls go and fight Avalanche. And then, the badass she is, badass
Yeah. Miraleona.
Marileona fights Funny Bunny all by herself. And she's the only one that fights solo. Because eventually Yuno is joined by Yami, Silva, I don't know. And then the fire and I don't know.
The fire
Fire
guy. I
guy.
don't remember their name either. I know one's name is one of
Noel's brother, and then the other fire guy with the salamander.
Yeah.
I suck at names, dude.
Same. Well, theirs are very unique, so it's hard to.
But yeah. So and then Aster kind of fights alone, but not really because, well, yeah, he pretty much fights alone this time. I don't know. But yeah,
Close.
Or
I just say Marileona because I think
Marileona, yeah, is the only one that fights solo. Not only that, she fights someone who like summons other things to fight for her, these metal knights, and she's just badass. That was one of the cooler parts, really. Is just watching her fight while the entire Black Bulls have to take on Avalanche, which is cool. His ice magic is some of the cooler looking stuff.
I forget what he called it. He called it ice something.
Ice shard.
Ice something. It was like some
God
random-
of ice god. I don't know, something like that.
It's very unique. It was unique for like there's ice magic.
It was really big, really cool looking, but he did the least really. It showed him the least for sure, and then he really didn't do that much. And then, actually, who do you think? Will you think he's the weakest? Maybe. Or
I don't know. I know he was showing like a little bit of. He was holding back a little bit because he wanted them to. He said the part where he said that he knows they don't have any bad in their heart or something.
Oh
so
yeah.
He wanted them to like leave, otherwise he would have to fight
Yeah, he
them.
seemed like he wasn't a completely bad guy.
Especially at the end after Noel like spared him
Yeah.
or whatever. He saw that a noble could have
Empathy.
Yeah, for like the poor, like the peasants.
Yeah, something like that.
So he was.
But we never got his motivation for joining.
True.
It never said
I think
anything.
low key it might have been like a little bit of brainwashing, but hey.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, there might be, but no, it said that they were bad and they were like wiped their Wizard King title beforehand too, so they must have done something. I mean, the whole thing might just be they don't like the way humanity's going, and it's just like corrupted, and they're wanting to stop that in a bad way. Like they take the wrong measures to try to do the right thing, which I get because we live here too. And it's the same thing. A lot of corruption. I think they just went the wrong way of doing it. And that's the only motivation I can really find. Same thing with Funny Bunny. She didn't seem all that bad either. She mainly just seemed like nobody got her. From what I could tell. It showed like one very brief flashback of like she like beat a bunch of people, killed a bunch of people maybe, and it seemed like she was doing it. She was Wizard King, so it seemed like she was doing it for the right reason to protect people. But then the way she did it, I think people just was scared of her and turned their backs on her because of it. I don't know. And then she was more lonely, which that's her whole thing was like relying on comrades and whatever. She didn't understand because that's kind of what the others do. I don't know. But she didn't seem that bad. Jester, on the other hand, he kind of seemed bad.
Yeah, he seemed bad, like almost like he was the true bad guy.
I would say he was actually probably could have been the weakest because a lot of the fighting he does, he's taking more of the power the power they're storing up and taking from other people. He's taking it for himself too, so he can keep fighting.
Yeah. Plus, his magic seems mainly like defensive, but super good at defense. But he can use it as offensively as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's like he creates like weird purple barrier things that he can shape into other. Like he can shape it into weapons too, but he does mainly just create barrier looking things.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's interesting. All their magic is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Good to see how strong other Wizard Kings would have been.
Because I'm always like a bit hesitant. Like, what made you wizard? What made you so strong that you're a Wizard King? I mean, yeah, Julius has like time magic that can be overpowered. It's like, but really were these other three that strong that they were Wizard King? Maybe at the time, maybe magic is getting stronger at the time. Magic wasn't as strong because one of them makes a comment.
Yeah,
when Finral.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that kind of magic exists in this.
Yeah. He said that would have been like. He said how that would have been different in the past. Like they would have like been really good to have that or something. That kind of spatial magic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, they didn't have spatial magic back then.
I guess not. I mean, it makes sense. Magic will just keep evolving and whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then of course Conrad and his magic. His keys just take magic from other people, and he uses that. His sword, the first Wizard King sword, I forget the name of it. Some weird name. That also takes and stores magic. And it also has, like, the memories or the magic of past Wizard Kings in it also. So there's all that. So we have this, and it makes sense, and it's kind of cool. Ashley can't use magic kind of either. He does have a sword that can also kind of hold a little bit of magic and throw it back out that he collects. But yeah, there's a moment where Asha's whole thing is his magic is he never gives up, and then this Wizard King back in the past, his whole thing was he doesn't give up. His whole magic. It's like
that's kind of coincidental, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of cheesy and dumb, but it makes sense too because the whole thing is they should be able to understand each other and emphasize with each other because they kind of have similar backgrounds. Not really. We don't get too much of his history except for at the very end we find out his whole squad and
his
wife were wiped out, and that's where his locket comes from. We didn't even get to see what was in the locket, did we? Yeah, we did.
I think it was a picture of him and his wife and his squad.
Yeah, because then it goes to another image of Astro. Yeah, that part. That's why I was getting confused. But, and then of course they butt heads because they should understand each other, but they don't. He, for some reason, wants to make the world better by destroying it. Don't know how that works, but. And then Astra says, just change the bad part. Or, change it to make it to where everyone can be happy instead of just destroying it. And he's like, this will be better for everyone. Astra's like, who's everyone? And all that stuff. And it just made no sense. It's typical, like, old school bad guy of let's destroy the world. And it's like, but why? How do you benefit from that? And it's like,
I just thought it was weird how they wanted to... Pretty much what you're saying, how they want everyone to be able to live, what's the word? Something. Peasants and the rich.
Equally? I don't know.
Could be able to coexist without being judged or anything. It was just like, okay, so let's kill them all. I don't know. To be fair, he wasn't like killing a lot of people, I don't think, because he was keeping them alive to just...
suck their magic out. But yeah, I mean, but it would have. He literally started to almost explode like the land. So that definitely would have killed people.
Yeah.
I don't know what his big...
I wish it would have shown at least one person get killed so that way I could be like, yeah, he's killed people. But no one actually we saw.
Yeah, we don't really see it. We see a bunch of people just laying off to the side beat up. But we don't know. It's... Maybe I'm just thinking too hard on this, and it would be better for me if I just step back and say, "Oh yeah, look at all the magic and all the shiny colors."
Ooh, magic.
Oh, but that's not how it worked out. And then he had one last sacrifice himself for one last ditch effort to continue destroying the world, and that's stopped pretty easily. And he joins the others. He also turns into dust. I'm assuming it's because he gave up his life for that last ditch effort, and that's why he also turned into whatever dust.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So didn't work out for him at the end. And where do we go from here? I guess it cuts right back. It looks like everything recovers because after credit scene is Astra just laying out in the field. And then, comes up, talks to him. They both still want to be Wizard King. And then they're about to fight, pick up where the tournament left off or whatever. That's pretty much the film.
Yeah. Don't forget whenever Asta finally beat Conrad, and Conrad, I guess, saw something in Asta, and he was just like,
oh, yeah.
He said to him, become the Wizard King.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he finally saw through his errors, but that's also typical anime.
Yeah.
Good bad guy has realization, oh yeah, I was wrong, you were right this whole time. It was almost... I'm glad it wasn't just straight up talk no jutsu.
True.
He does not literally until he's dying. He's like, oh yeah, maybe you were right.
It's like, dang, I wish I could convince you a little bit sooner. We didn't have to wait, go through an hour of footage. I don't know how long that time.
It was almost 2 hours. Yeah. So which is good. Normally I complain about the length of a movie. I feel like this one was fine. It felt right. I'm trying to think of the only thing I would add, and it definitely would put it over 2 hours. More backstory for these kings. I have no idea what their motivations are. All of them. Give them all just a little more substance.
True.
That's my main complaint about this movie is I just have no idea why they're doing this. Only a vague hint.
I wish it was, maybe they'll release anime version. Kind of like how they released the anime version of the movie for Demon Slayer.
I don't know.
Mugen Train.
I don't think for this one they would, because it's not directly part of the story.
I guess so. Plus it's already happened.
Yeah.
It's like, once they start back Black Clover, weekly episodes, it'll be all about demons. Devils. Can't remember if it's devils.
I don't know, but so I'm assuming this wasn't actually in the manga. So even if they did, people were going to be like, this is just filler. This is filler.
Not sure.
Which, maybe. But who knows. The other thing is, I just looked and saw there's apparently 2 novelizations for this movie that's going to be coming out. So that's something. Don't know if that matters to anyone.
You know, they played my favorite Black Clover song. I don't know. I'm assuming it's everyone's favorite Black Clover song. Yeah, it's the first opener that they play at the final fight. They play that song for every epic fight moment.
Dude, I don't even remember.
No way.
I did notice the music. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
But
it's the first opener. It's the song, and they have a lot of openers, but I forget what the song is called. That's the thing, but it's my favorite one. Every time it plays, I just get like goosebumps. I'm like, oh, something's about to go down.
What point did they play that?
Right whenever he's like, he got both the swords, like this, like the Wizard King sword, and then like one of his Demon Slayer, and then he's swinging at the thing, the last ditch effort.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. And that I did remember that. Yeah. That's the point where I was like, oh, this is cool. I guess that's why I thought it was cool, because I just remembered it without realizing it.
Yeah, that song, it plays after it left from being the opener. I was like, oh, I miss that song. And it came back. I forget the first time it came back. It was like during some fight. It might have been against the fight with the Heart Kingdom's people. I forget the guy's name, but he could like absorb magic and like use it. Then I forget their names, but it was really.
I'm not going to be of any help with names.
Yeah. It was a really epic moment, and then after that, they've been playing it for like most of the good fight scenes, like especially the one with the most recent one against that devil with the word magic. Where you just speak, whatever it's called, and yeah, that one was good. That was really good. I go back and watch that scene every now and then. I'm just like, that hits different. That song is just iconic for Black Clover.
I guess I could look up the name of the song. Oh, but I did see. So, the anime finished or stopped on March 30th, 2021. So it's just only been 2 years. It feels like it's been so much longer.
It really does.
I mean, I watched it week by week as it came out. And I mean, I'm assuming you did too.
Yeah, I did. I remember watching it and I was like, dang, is this show not going to end after like the 20 episodes? And it kept going on like 50. I was like, dang.
Which is good because the very beginning of it was rough. I really didn't like Black Clover when I first started watching it.
Yeah, me neither.
And then it got better, luckily.
Yeah.
Ooh, well.
Especially whenever you meet Yami and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yami is probably the thing that really drove the show for me.
Yeah. And then I guess right whenever he won against that one guy that I can't remember his name with a stupid Bwaha.
Oh, yeah. Bwaha.
This bronze magic. I forget I think it's bronze magic.
Is it? I know doesn't he create like some kind of spiky shell or whatever?
He can create random stuff with whatever random stuff made of bronze. I think during that fight he did make some sort of shell and he also just broke it.
Yeah.
Swung his sword, just rolling up.
I mean, he's just such a dumb character who keeps winding up in situations. Like, wasn't he somehow goofed himself into being like the actual kings?
Yeah, the actual king's like
bodyguard or like magic advisor or something like that.
Yeah, some sort of
so
like,
dumb. And he's just always around. How did he even ever get picked?
True. I don't know why the mantis. What's that guy's name? Jack the Slice.
Yeah. Is he Jack the Ripper?
Jack the Ripper.
Is he?
No, it's just something Jack.
Or Jack the Slasher.
Slicer. I don't remember.
Jack the Ripper would be too on the nose, I feel like. But he has slicing magic. Slashing magic? Yeah. Something like that.
But I don't know what he saw in him, but he picked him.
Yeah, you picked him over us. Man, Yami's the only one that had any good sense.
Oh, for real. Dude. Love Yami for that.
I mean, but Yami, that's everyone he's picked so far, though. All these oddbars that are, most of them for the most part at least, just really powerful.
Yeah, I
in
feel
weird ways.
Whenever they introduce like the arcane, like the magic tiers, and like how arcane was the highest or whatever, I feel like Yami's team has the most, doesn't he? The most arcane tiered.
Yeah, probably.
Because I know they said Gray, or what's her name? I forget.
Yeah, Gray.
Gray's arcane. What's her name? I'm pretty sure Vanessa's also arcane. I could be wrong, or at least the cat is.
Yeah, Rogue.
Rouge.
Yeah.
Red. I think it's
red.
It
is
something French or something. I don't remember. But There was others.
I mean, all
Nero.
Nero.
Definitely not. What's his name? The delinquent.
Yeah, he's
like the weakest.
He is the weakest,
Poor
and
guy.
that's a shame. He tries so hard. What about Charmy? What's hers? I mean, she's part dwarf, so
Yeah, I think
she's a dwarf. Vanessa's a witch. Yeah, all of them are something weird. Henry is something.
He's a freak. I don't know what he is.
That's poor Gordon, but yeah, that's
Oh yeah, Gordon's also a freak.
they're all freaks in a good way. But yeah, I'm glad. The best part, that they did with this movie for me is giving like not necessarily each character has a huge moment to shine, but the fact that they all are there and they're all doing stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've seen a lot of other times they just like, here's all these characters, but they're not going to really do anything. Let's just focus on the main character or maybe the main handful. So I'm glad they all were active. At least all the Black Bulls. I don't know where all the other squads went.
Man, they must be busy doing something, getting killed.
Because a lot of them were in the Black Bull space.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then what? They're just chilling.
Maybe they're all out on missions.
I mean,
just weren't
yeah,
expecting it.
maybe they were also fighting the little robot things.
Oh yeah.
But who knows?
Those things were like a freaking army. I think her magic was literally called Legion magic or something.
Oh yeah. I had like a giant weird chessboard. Yeah, she had a lot of cool stuff. At first I thought, like, oh, is that it? And then when she actually started fighting, like the blinks where she could.
Oh yeah, the castling.
Yeah, Blink Castle or Castle Blink.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then she could fight herself just hand to hand, and then finally ending it with the giant giant robot thing.
It's like a giant mecha or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good luck to Miraleona. But she seemed to get like a little power boost there, which I have not seen in the.
Oh yeah,
isn't that crazy? I haven't seen that.
If there was ever going to be another, and I feel like they mentioned it before. Like she could be another Wizard King.
Honestly,
because she is. I mean, she took on another Wizard King by herself, and won.
Mm-hmm.
You could say they're on pretty even levels because their fight didn't finish.
Yeah, definitely not.
It was kind of interrupted.
Yeah,
but it definitely seemed like she was going to win. The only fight that really finished was with Avalanche.
Yeah, they pretty much had him beat. They had him. Noelle got her friggin' magic back and was popping off, thanks to thanks to Ghost. I think his name is, all the mirror images of her, and
yeah,
it was interesting. They have like good combos with each other. Forget the word. They have good synergy.
Synergy, yeah.
The whole Black Bulls team there.
But I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of the like typical Fenrir, Vanessa, and that Asha, their little trio thing.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
That was becoming popular with them. We didn't see any of that, which I guess it didn't need it since Asha was off on his own.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of cool action stuff. I really like that. Like I said, only complaint is really is wanting a better understanding of their motivations and backstories and who they were and why any of this mattered.
No.
You got any other complaints?
Not really. Just I wish I could have seen. I wish Charmy would have popped off a little bit more. I wanted to see her
she didn't do too
different
much.
form.
Has anyone else even seen? I don't think anybody else was around.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
So none of them. I don't think any of them would know she's a dwarf except for Yami.
True. Yeah, she mainly was just fueling that during that whole time. She was mainly just fueling all those other teams while they were eating, and then they were fueling Henry, and Henry was eating their magic to fly the Black Bull thing. And
I do want to see more Charmy.
Yeah, she was the chef this movie, keeping people's mana bar refilled, I guess.
At first, we thought we weren't going to see Gordon at all. He was only going to get mentioned.
Oh yeah, Gordon's he's still in the base. Oh, him and Henry.
And then they're like, "Oh no, we're going to go base anyways." And it's like, "Oh okay, well that's never mind. He's there." He actually showed off quite a bit too.
Yeah, he was using a lot of magic. It's good old poison stuff, but a lot of it is just getting obliterated. I don't know if he's not like super strong, but poor guy. He's quite interesting.
Yes, I feel like there's still more to him we haven't
Yeah.
completely figured out yet.
Yeah, we figured out a good amount about. We figured out a good amount, I guess, about him. So
Yeah,
far.
him and his family.
Yeah, I think some of them have like poison, but instead of poison, it like heals. Right? Isn't that?
It's curse magic, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Curse magic?
Yeah, something like that, right?
I think it's been a while since I've seen the like whenever.
I mean, that's all of this.
Yeah. Those episodes when they were there with his family, I remember his dad having, instead of like curse, it was like the opposite, or like cured or something.
Was it?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I remember that being like interesting. Like, oh, it's not poison; it's healing.
I don't know.
His whole family's weird. It's just like it's like a Addams Family type of moment with them.
I'm excited for the next season whenever that comes out. Hopefully it'll be soon. But also, I'm behind on a lot of anime, so I guess I can wait. I can't. Hopefully it's at least by next year. I mean, there hasn't been any announcements I've seen, so I'm assuming it's not going to be this year. But we waited so long. Apparently only 2 years, so it feels so much longer. But I feel like they're not going to really do much more until the manga's over.
Yeah.
Which is fine if they do. That way, we know at least the source material's done, and they're not going to try to do any other kind of dumb bullshit. But let's see.
Overall, what would you rate? What would you rate the movie out of 10?
Out of 10. Like I said, it's a good movie. It's entertaining. It's better than a lot of other ones I've seen. I'm trying to think of like what the worst ones. The worst ones I'll still say would have been around 6. This was better, so I guess I could give it like an 8 as a high.
Yeah.
Mainly because I like the length, but it could have been longer. Only so we could get more backstory. That's the only thing that bugged me is the whole time I was like, why are they doing this? Why? What's the point? I don't know who they are. I didn't even know any of their names. I don't know if they ever actually said them. If they did, it was once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the main reason I'm taking anything off is it just didn't make sense. As entertaining and as good as I thought it looked and everything went, the story almost didn't make any sense. And that was enough to not do as well for me. How about you?
Yeah, I was thinking also 8 out of 10 as well for me. I know that it was definitely better than, in my opinion, is better than any of the movies that I've seen in theaters for anime. Maybe not the first Demon Slayer movie, the Mugen Train. That Mugen Train was pretty good.
I'll say Mugen Train was barely better than this.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I just said, but because it is based off an established story already, I think that's why it did better. Of course, Mugen Train isn't as good as it being in episodes. My whole complaint with Mugen Train was I didn't know anything about the Flame Hashira.
Yeah.
But then they added that extra episode in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this changes everything.
Exactly, yeah. Like, that was their best
So
move.
that's the same complaint I'm having with this and stuff where there's 4 of them that I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
But what about, Jujutsu Kaisen, though?
Okay, well, that movie was actually pretty freaking good.
That one was a lot better.
Yeah, that was better. I forgot I've seen that.
Yeah. And then, the newest My Hero movie, I think this was better than. Only because I was disappointed because the second My Hero movie was awesome. It was so good. It's probably one of my favorites. And then not as good as One Piece Red. Not as good as Stampede either. I'm just thinking of all the movies. It's a good movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like 8. The more I talk about 8 is justifiable.
Yeah.
And then the rest was just more than 8. Mugen Train, 8.1.
Yeah. There you go. I was going to say, like, not everything. Also, you can always rate it the same.
Yeah.
What are the both rate?
If we're going to keep doing this, Sword Art.
Yeah.
6 something to 7, 6 or 7. They're okay.
They're all right. Yeah, it's interesting to get another perspective, I guess, from the whole show already. Because isn't it mostly just that one girl's? I forget her name. Asuna's perspective. It's different. I like it.
Do I need to start putting rating systems in each of these episodes now?
Could.
I mean, we pretty much just went back and rated a bunch of the other ones.
Yeah.
Vaguely. Maybe I'll start doing that. I'll have to make a unique scale besides just 1 to 10. On
Do it like
this,
1 to 100.
how many... what's something anime-esque that I can make a scale out of?
Oh.
I don't want to say how many weebs is this, because that's dumb. How many? I don't know. I'll think of it. Hopefully by the next episode of this I do. So I guess that's it. Anything else that stands out you want to talk about? You thinking of?
Not really. I feel like we're missing. Wasn't there like a third sword we never saw out of Asta's book or Asta's book? Maybe that sword got taken away from him. I don't remember.
I did feel like that too at some point, but yeah, we never really see it if there was.
Also, maybe it wouldn't have been useful for whatever he was fighting against.
Yeah.
I remember it was the one that took all the curses out of stuff. People that were poisoned or whatever. I never saw it. But whatever. He only had his 2 swords plus that one, the one that he borrowed from
Oh yeah, I
Julius.
guess we didn't actually say that. So Asta does end up using the Wizard King's sword to beat Conrad, and at the end he's like, well, why was I able to use this? Because when he hit it with his sword, it should have taken the magic out. And then Julius is pretty much just like, it was just the past Wizard Kings letting you use their power, blah blah blah. I thought there was going to be something more, like he was insinuating, and it can sense future Wizard Kings. He didn't actually say that, but I was getting the feeling like, oh yeah, that could be something.
Why did I get the feeling like there was something he didn't tell him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm feeling like.
And like, didn't someone say like, "Why are you lying to him?" or something like that? Like, why are you lying?
Yeah.
I feel like someone said, I don't know.
So maybe there is more to it.
Yeah.
Oh, before we even watched this movie, we were like when we were trying to place the timeline, we were like, oh, maybe this whole movie is them trying to get that sword for the Spade invasion. No. That's not it. It was just coincidental.
That sword's gone now.
Yeah.
It's broke.
Well, they still have the hilt.
The hilt, but
they might be able to, as they absorb magic and whatever. But we haven't seen it in the anime either.
Yeah.
So it's just gone. It's never mentioned, as far as I know. So yeah, I'd say going into this, we have more questions about this movie than maybe we had to talk about, but we still talked about it plenty. But that's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well, we talked about a lot of drinks. It's not fun, at least for me. I'll say fun. I'm using a little drink association game with me instead of coming up with more drinks for each character, because that would be a lot more work, and we didn't get enough information about each character to try to make a drink for them. So that works out. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about this Black Clover movie. If you want to talk about it, wherever you're listening to this, if you can leave comments, answer questions, do all that. If you can, rate, give it, like it, heart it. I don't know. There's so many platforms this goes out on, so I don't know where you're listening to it. But if you are listening, thank you, first of all. If you like where you're hearing and you want to rate it, hopefully a good rating, go ahead and do that. And if you want to keep up with me, I have social media stuff, the AC Stories. Email me at theacstories@gmail.com. I have a Discord, a little group there that can grow if you join it. Links for all this stuff will be in the description wherever you're listening to it at. But yeah, that's all we're talking about for this episode of Alcohol Anime. Thank you so much for listening. Blue, thank you so much for joining again.
Absolutely.
Last minute for us, and I'm glad we did this, especially recording in person, because I always like that. But yep, that's it. Bye, everyone.
Bye.